Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren, pushing this word in all sincerity and in truth. All right, shalom to the hopeful elect, the 144,000, and the rest of the men, women, and children that will receive mercy from the Lord in these last days. All right. And to the scattered Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, who may look like the other nations, but your spirit is knit, your spirit is drawn to this truth, to this gospel, and you're falling in obedience. Hey, shalom unto you too. I'm the brother Dama Gabar here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. All right, and this is an article from Natural News, but I just want to go to the main points of this article here, and just to show you, how, precious and how valuable this truth is in these very last days, because we have, this devil Esau, Edom, all right, who's about to make a major push on shutting down your ability to, speak freely, for us to be out there on the highways and the byways and to prophesy and the gates of mercy, Esau is going to play a role, of course, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, of causing that opportunity to be, for those gates to be closed. And so all you Jake out there that's taking this truth for granted, that's thinking that you got forever and a day to, when you're comfortable, when you're done doing whatever you need to do to come into this truth and really, fully come into this, into this truth, into this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Hey, those days are drawing, those days, if you haven't had access, are getting ready to close. Hey, and this devil is not playing around. He's about to make this major push, especially in these next coming days, maybe into the next few months, to where, he's going to use some type of event, some type of, calamity, or, some type of major event to where he's going to be able to put the full grips on, censoring free speech and locking down on these social media platforms and putting it in place to where, your ability to freely speak things, freely receive information that is of the truth is going to be stopped. And he's going to be at the will. He's going to be able to dictate what's going to be passed off as information or what's going to be misinformation, and be able ultimately to come down with great wrath on anybody who is standing as a pillar of truth and exposing the wickedness and the corruption of this so-called society. And mainly, is driven and is going to be appointed at the prophets and the men of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So stop taking, for granted us being out there on the highways and the byways each and every week, doing these videos each and every day, because the day is coming to where, hey, Esau is going to make it very, you're going to be incapable of getting access to information like this and other information that is, exposing the bullshit. So, hey, putting that off from day to day, man. And if you're sincerely trying to seek after Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, and to get this truth, get it now while you can, because this devil has, I'm going to show you the type of players that are involved of ending this free speech. All right. And it's all prophesied. All right. But let me start with this Amos real quick. All right. And this is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. It says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of full water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh." And let's look up this word for famine. I bring this scripture out a lot, and I don't really go into the word famine because we ultimately know what a famine is. But the word is ra'aib. It says famine in land, nation, of Yahweh's word, hunger of individuals, right? Because you're going to be hungrily, looking for this word. You're going to be starving to get the truth, to get the full understanding, to get the breakdowns, to understand prophecy, to understand the things that were out there, through the spirit of the Lord trying to unveil unto you. You see, it says hunger, or more or less extensively, a dearth, famine, famish, hunger. See, is ultimately going to be very impossible, very hard to come across this truth and to get the understanding of it, man. And the Lord is going to do that by what? Using Esau, Edom, and these censorship bills and all of these things that I'm going to read in this article that Esau, these powerful NGOs, these powerful, institutions who are going to pass particular laws to where, hey, your ability to have free speech and your access to these platforms and information that is outside of the mainstream controlled propaganda newsroom will be the only thing that you're going to be able to eat or be able to, you know, receive as information, which is going to be totally not in your best interest or not beneficial. All right. And it says, verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh and shall not find it. You see, and this is how you know it's going to be in a physical sense, because remember, one form of a cyber attack can totally shut out the internet to where, you know, your ability to get on the internet or turn on television or have access to your phones and the web and Google. Hey, these devils have the ability to where they can shut that shit off to where, you know, right now our easiest access and way to information is via the internet. Alexa, going on Google and asking particular questions, going on YouTube to learn particular things, going on the internet to get and receive news feeds and information. Hey, those things are going to be intentionally shut off by these devils. So then the only way for you to receive information is going to be how it used to be, from mouth to mouth. You're going to have to go to particular places physically and try to get information, try to run into somebody who has been briefed, or somebody who was up on top of particular, you know, information and things that is going on. You see, so you're going to be physically running from place to place, trying to see if anybody has internet access, see if anybody has, you know, some form of electricity or power to where they could, you know, or a radio to see, you know, to receive particular type of information. And it's going to be the same with this truth, because how does, you know, if without the internet, guess what? You can still run into the prophets. You can still go out there on the highways and the byways and receive and hear this word. But in that day, hey, the Lord's going to take his prophets from off of the streets. We're not going to be out there readily, you know, as accessibly as we are week in and week out for you to come up and ask questions and get this truth. You see, but you're not going to find it. You see? And it says, and in that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. Oh, that was the point I wanted. Yeah, they shall wander from sea to sea, even from the north, even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, and shall not find it. See? So stop playing games. All right. So it's an article from Natural News, and this is the main part of the article. It says, big tech censorship, a pillar of deep state control over speech. You see? And when it says big tech censorship, it's really the elite, all right, pillar. It's part of their NWO plan. It says the cabal of anti-free speech zealots throughout the West has already successfully formed a censorship regime across the social media spectrum, i.e. Facebook and Twitter, now X. Legislatively in the UK, there is also now the UK Online Safety Act of 2023, which prohibits all sorts of speech online, including talk about health policies and V's. And you see, and if Kamala gets into office, she's all for this, man. She's a goddamn what's the word I'm looking for? She's a dictator. Shalakia. She's all down for the NWO agenda, man. And if she gets into office, hey, she'll be pushing this shit just the same as you know, she'll sign this country over until, you know, until the plan of the elite. It says the pyramid scheme, as you might expect, complex and the pyramid scheme is, as you might expect, complex and convoluted. It is set up in such a confusing, slithering type of way that you can just feel the serpent slithering around you as you try to understand it. And like we said, this is going back to that serpent, that great dragon, Esau, Edom. You see? It says these revelations should alarm everyone who value free speech and civil liberties, as they outline a sophisticated and systematic effort to deplatform and silence dissent worldwide. And you better believe that this dissent and deplatforming goes to the prophets and the men of the Lord. And we already got a taste of it during the C19er. You know how many videos of the apostles and brothers? It's funny, mainly at Great Millstone. You see how all these other Israelite groups, they weren't losing channel. The IUIC wasn't getting flagged. Their videos wasn't getting taken down for particular speeches and saying particular things. But out of all the Israelite group, Great Millstone was the most highly affected and was being deplatformed during this that C19er, where there was shutting down videos for whatever they deemed to be unacceptable, man. You see, so we already got a taste, and we can already see that these devils have the ability to do that. All they got to ultimately do is just slap you with enough strikes to where your page can be just taken down, man. But you see, this time they're not going to give you the strike options. Hey, the minute they find your page, you're saying something that they don't agree with, something that they deem to be deplatformable or just sinful, or could inform people on information that they don't want them to have. Hey, they're going to just shut your page down, and not going to give you the option to try to explain why your video shouldn't be taken down. You're not going to be able to say fair use, fair use. You're not going to be able to use your constitutional right to speak as a way to, keep your content up. They're going to just take it, man. But then this time they're going to be able to arrest you. They're going to be able to fine you or throw you in jail or worse, man. You see, and this is the draconian type of level it's going to get to. So the Lord is going to, that's why eventually it's going to be a famine of the word. It's going to be a point to where there's going to be no more talking. There's going to be no more going out there on the highways and the byways. No more easy access for you to have into this truth. Hey, the elect are going to be sealed, and the rest of you who've been lollygagging and playing games, you're going to just be asked out, man. All right. But we know this devil is ultimately, he's going to use free speech as a weapon. He's going to start using these platforms as a weapon and a trap to snare anybody that's coming with talking points that they don't deem acceptable. All right. And this is Isaiah. We should bring this out all the time. Isaiah 29:21. It says that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. All right. And in the NLT, it says those who convict the innocent by their false testimony will disappear. A similar fate await those who use trickery to pervert justice and who tell lies to destroy the innocent. And this, a part of their whole plan to stop free speech, is to do it by lies, by lying and saying that your content is causing harm. Your content caused some random individual somewhere to do some type of violent act or to protest or to whatever the case might be. You see, now they'll be able to lock you in jail and find you guilty of a crime by your speech, by you telling the truth, by you, ultimately calling these devils out for wickedness, man. They'll be able to flip that and make it be a crime upon you and, not so wise in the near future, or a very defiant or a very, risky thing to tell the truth or to promote information that exposes the wickedness, man. See, this is why this man is the damn devil. And he's doing this all over the world. Remember, it said the UK has legislation in place to where they're violating people's free speech. Where we saw people literally getting arrested for tweets or posts that they put online exposing the bullshit. You don't think that's coming here to the West? And like I said, they're going to use some big major event here in the States to where they're going to use this legislative power like they did in the UK, which is what? Isaiah the 10th chapter. Woe unto him that decree unrighteous decrees, that he may, take away the right of the fatherless, It says from the rise of AI-driven censorship systems to the targeting of specific individuals like the so-called disinformation dozen, this global crackdown represents an unprecedented threat to open discourse. Reclaim the Net is credited with breaking the news about these revelations. It put out a report called Behind the Closed Doors. The UK and the US plot global speech crackdown on September 13th, 2024 that highlights more than 20 Western countries that are in on the scheme, you see? And if Kamami gets in there, she's going to be fully on board with this shit, man. She's out here using these fake accents. She's going to, wooing you dumbass black women out there, believing that, oh, sister girl, black girl magic. Oh, that's the president for us. Not even knowing that wench is going to get in office and totally destroy your whole life, man. All that feminism, all that loud mouth, you can talk, you can speak, you can do what you want to do. All that shit is going to come to an end. You see? It says, besides the U.S. and the U.K., there's also Australia and New Zealand, as well as Canada and Sweden. You see? So it's happening all over the globe, man, because there's ultimately a globalist agenda. And they're going to do this shit, country by country, little by little, till eventually it's going to be a global crackdown. It says much of Europe is also involved as well. Pretty much the entire West is in on it. And that with the help of NATO and G7, these powers feel as though they are unstoppable, but they have a surprise coming. The scheme was forged in 2021 at the height of you see that word there, the WCP, all right? The one niner. It says, when the world was being distracted and tyrannized by governments in lockstep with the private sector, meetings were held at the untimely birth, a government-wide hub for global censorship. You see, and this is part of Psalm 64. The secret council of the wicked, man. They're all gathering together. These elites and these different organizations, these, New World Order crowd. They're always getting together and putting plays like this in motion. All right. So that's why the WHO and, these other organizations like that, hey, they're all part of the global. They're all brought and paid for by the globalist agenda, man. NGOs and organizations that are not voted in by the people, they're just given all this power and all this authority from the powers that be to govern the world, man. And a huge part of their power grab is to shut down free speech and censorship on all these different platforms and Twitter and YouTube and information in general, man. They're going to shut it all down. All right. And they're going to make, like I said, they're going to make a man an offender for a word, and they'll be justified by law to do it once they get these things into power. And we can see why the Lord is going to bring the famine of the word, because it's going to be necessary, because pretty soon we're not going to be able to be out there just prophesying and preaching and cussing Esau out to his face. All right. And this is why first, let me get that real fast. Here we go. Matthew 24:14. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. You see, and part of the end is these devils coming down with that great wrath, coming in with this new world order agenda, shutting down everything, financial collapse, societal collapse, sedition amongst men. You see, and during that time period, 2nd Ezra 15 and 16, the prophets were not going to be out there on the highways and the byways, trying to prophesy in the midst of martial law, prophesying in the midst of all hell breaking loose, cannibalism, civil war, race war, everything burning to the ground. You're going to have some overzealous Israelites out there with the 12 tribe chart speaking in the midst of all of this hell and get his goddamn head busted open, man. You see, that's something that a false prophet, a false prophet would do. But those of, but those of us who are, Lord willing, of the elect, we're going to understand the times that we're in. And we're not going to be out there, man. All right. Hey, we're going to be moving to a different phase of this truth. It says, in these meetings, representatives from the U.S. government agencies, including the White House, CIA, FBI, Treasury, State Department, USAID, HHS, Global Media, State Department, Department of Defense, as well as high-ranking officers in the Army and the Navy and Air Force, have received training from the UK on how to suppress speech labeled as disinformation through big tech platform, G says, you see? And all of these little, this whole paragraph right here shows you just how, these globalists have, they have control over all of these major government agencies. They've all been brought and paid for. They've all sold out. They're all under the control of the elites, and they're going to use these departments to usher in, this great reset, man. The collapse of this society, to bring all hell upon you people, and eventually bring that charagma, that microchip. So they're all working together with the plans of these elites to implement these things. It says the goal was to craft a global framework for censorship, leveraging international bodies like the G7, NATO, and the United Nations to push these agendas across borders. You see? And this is what they're doing. And this is how we know the famine of the word will eventually come. Because all these devils are working together ultimately to implement this type of shit, man. You see? And it's only going to get more and more heightened. It's only going to get more and more serious as we go forward. So this is why we're pushing for you, you sincere brethren and sisters out there who's really into this truth, to stay buckled down, man. Stick with GMS, eat this roll and stick with the right Israelite group, man. Don't be out here bouncing from camp to camp and getting further and further confused, man. Stick with Great Millstone, or hey, if you believe that the Genesis group has the truth, or you think that stick wherever you're going to stick to, man. But at the end of the day, know, that the true prophets have been out here amongst you, and we've been telling, and we're the only one that go into this information. You don't never see the IUIC or Sakari or the Genesis, whatever the hell them niggas are called, going into information like this. They're all in the spirit of folly and debating, not in prophesying and really pushing the message and giving you warning from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai of just how bad it's truly about to get out here, man. But us here at Great Millstone, starting with the elders and the apostles, man, hey, we're going to give you and tell you the truth. We're going to give you warning as the Lord commanded us to do, and try to put all of our, members in the best, situation, and in the best and in the right mind frame to endure and to move accordingly to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, in hopes that we're all part of his elect, and be delivered and stay informed. And we're going to continue to stand upon our watch as long as we can, because we know this devil is getting ready to, bring in to silence us being able to go out there in the highways and the byways. But at the end of the day, you shall know that a prophet had been among you. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And to the next one, Shalom.